you got a crank no start after you swap the engine. All right, let me check it out for you. Hey, what up, viewers? Welcome back to another video by DJ Mobile Auto Services. Alright, we had a local shop here in the area dealing with a crank no start after an engine swap. Alright, this vehicle been down for a few weeks. I mean, part canon has been fired, you know, the usual. I believe this is a 2001 to 2006 Mitsubishi Galant with a 4G94 engine. They said that the engine was swapped due to no compression in cylinder 3. So as you can see, they, fired the part canon. Some crank sensors I'm seeing here and some other parts, right? But after the swap, the vehicle still doesn't want to start, right? So I believe they say they check the timing also, and they recheck the timing over and over, and they still not getting this to start, right? So as I said, a few crank and cam sensors, what can you do, right? But still nothing, right? So I believe they say also that they took the ECU out to one of the guys locally to see if they can rectify it, but he came back with nothing, right? So as I said, let's go in the vehicle and see, put a scan tool on it and see what we can do, right? But before we do anything, I like to just do some little quick checks before, yeah. So I was having a conversation with the shop owner and letting him know that they have various types of engine. They look the same, but as I said, Mitsubishi does a good job of having like various engines that can work in these Lancers and the Gallants and stuff like that. So you gotta definitely be careful, make sure it's not a 4G93 or 4G91 that you mistaken and think is a 4G94, right? So you just gotta keep that in the back of your head that as I said, Mitsubishi tends to do that, and you have to get the right engine for the brain box, right? All right, so what I like to do is check to see if the check light is there, right? That's letting me know if the ECU is basically communicating with the centers on the vehicle, right? This is the ECU that they took out to get checked, right? As I said, I'm going to put the scan tool on it and see if I'm seeing any PIDs that can assist me with this. It says a crank no start, right? You see the check light is on, but for some unknown reason the car is not starting, right? So let's crank this over and see, right? So I'm definitely hearing the cadence and it sounds like it's good compression, so I kind of rule compression out at this moment. Also believe they say they are getting fuel coming up to the rail, and it's also wetting the plugs, right? So I'm using a thing tool, right, on this vehicle, and I'm just gonna run through and see if I can scan and pick up anything that that can assist me with this diagnosing, right? Yeah, you got some very skilled dudes at this shop, so I believe them when they say the timing is on and everything is hooked up right, but it could be something that they overlooking, so that's why I'm here to check. So as I said, man, let's pull up some PIDs. I'm seeing advanced ignition. Yeah, what else am I seeing here what I can use? Let's see the barometric pressure sensor, the crank sensor, anything to do with crank. I'm just trying to see if I can get any kind of information that can assist me with this crank no start, right? What else am I seeing here? That should be it. Let's press OK. All right, what I'm seeing here, I'm seeing advanced ignition is at 5 degrees before top dead center, right? The timing for this, the spark actually happens like, let's say 0 to 15 degrees before top dead center. So I'm watching this PID and paying attention to it when I'm cranking to see if it moves at least when it's starting. The timing will dictate this when it's happening. I'm not seeing no movement. I'm also looking at the RPM, right? I'm seeing on the crank sensor and reading around like 200 RPM, which is good, right? So I'm getting fuel, right? I'm seeing crank. So what exactly am I missing, right? But if you pay attention, the ignition timing is definitely not moving, right? So I'm not sure if the scan tool is the right thing for this job, but I'm gonna keep my eye on this 5 degree, right, ignition timing. If it's actually, I wonder if timing is really off in this, man. I'm just gonna confirm with the shop owner one more time, but I'm gonna put this tool away and pull out the scope, right, and see if I can narrow down where this crank no start is coming from. All right, I got the scope hooked on to the crank sensor and also the cam. I'm also synced on number 1 coil, right? I'm on the signal wire, right? Definitely on the signal wire. So I'm gonna just, see if I could get some capture and see if the timing is the issue. But I don't have a known good waveform, so I'm just gonna take some, as I said, some data and compare it to a known good and see if if the timing is definitely off. But I mean, you can check the timing because it's using a timing belt. So let me see if I could just crank this over and just gather some info. And you definitely hear that the compression sounding real good on this vehicle, right? So let's see. Missing the crank sensor. Hold on, let me just see exactly what's going on here. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe, man. Smash that subscription bell, man. Definitely appreciate all the help, right? So let me see if I can do this over, and I'm not sure exactly why I wasn't getting a crank sensor signal. And what happened too in these vehicles, people tend to throw aftermarket sensors on, and it definitely throw the timing off and get some wacky readings, right? But in this case, let me just, as I said, let me just double check that first before I condemn the crank sensor. And I'm gonna definitely put my maintainer on because I see the battery is dropping in this voltage dropping in this on this vehicle, right? So I said I got everything set up. So it's just me working by myself, and the other guys are busy, so one to really help me out. So let me redo this crank test and see if I pick up anything. Alright, so I believe I'm supposed to get something, man. Let's see. Yeah, I definitely got some, right? So the red waveform is the cam sensor, and the blue is the crank sensor, and the green is the #1 coil, right? So I just just put that on just to get a sync and see exactly when the coil is firing, right? Definitely picking that up. So I mean, this doesn't let me know if it's good or bad. It just, I'm gathering some information to compare to unknown good, right? But I'm definitely getting 5 volts on each sensor, right? Hold on, let me just see if I can clean this up a little bit. Right, what am I seeing? Alright, so I got some capture up on the screen. This is the crank and the cam with the ignition sync. The red is the cam, the blue is the crank, and the green is the ignition sync on #1, right? So this is not really going to tell me much at the present time because I gotta get a known good waveform to compare it to. At least we see in both cam and crank signal, right, looking real clean, but I could clean this up some more. I gotta put some filters on. But I don't like how my secondary waveform look. It look like the spark is jumping out from the first glance, and it also don't have no burn time going on. So let me clean up these waveforms. So let me show you what I've noticed. I'm expecting to see at least 5 volts on each of the Hall effect sensors, which is a cam and crank. It doesn't look like there are any dropouts, which can indicate that we have a faulty sensor. But as I said, man, let me just clean it up a little bit, right, so you can see exactly how powerful us using a scope is to diagnose these cars. With the use of my cursors, I can slide on top of the waveform to see what the voltage are, or I could just enter 5 volts on the ruler table and it will drop dead onto the waveform, right? This will allow me to just move a little quicker when I'm analyzing these waveforms, right? And you can see I'm getting a clean waveform, right? As I said earlier, I'm not sure exactly if the timing is right based on the waveform that I'm collecting, but because I have to compare it to something else, right? They install aftermarket sensors and I don't trust them. I got burnt a few times by them. You can check out my video that I got burnt on a Mitsubishi Lancer, right? I'm gonna leave the link up in the box. But for now, this is what we have to work with, right? As I said, man, it's looking real clean, right? But based on my past experience, right, not because our waveform looking clean, that means it, is any good, right? So I'm gonna really have to get my hands on a known good in order to compare it to, right? So for now, let's look at the secondary waveform. For what I'm seeing here, I'm seeing a huge KV spike, right? But my KV line is not there. I got a short burn time and a high KV. This let me know that something is definitely wrong with my spark, right? I look like it's jumping out the cylinder early based on what I'm seeing here. With the information that we gather, I gotta save this waveform because last time I didn't save it and I ended up losing this capture, right? So let me just save this, right? We're gonna definitely pull that coil to see exactly why the spark is jumping out the cylinder, right? Normally when I see that, that telling me that I have like a hole in the insulation or something like that, where the spark is escaping and basically cause a multiple misfire. The shop owner said that he have a few coils I can use if I having problem with this one, right? But let's pop this out and see exactly what's going on in the cylinder. If the installation is leaking, definitely damage the plug, but I mean that's at least our problem right now, right? We definitely seen that we gain a the command to fire the coil, right? So that's letting me know that the ECU is doing what's supposed to, based on the crank sensor. I mean the cam and the crank sensor. He's definitely telling the coil to fire, right? But I'm not sure exactly where the spark is going, because as I said, there you have it, man. My ass hit it right on the head. You see that hole in the insulation boot for the coil? So that's letting me know my data that I picked up was spot on. So let me see if I can hook up a spark tester so I can see how strong the spark is that's leaving the coil. The shop owner said they did check and make sure they was getting spark, which I'm not doubting, right? But I would like to see physically the spark leaving the coil, right? I'm seeing the command from the ECU telling the coil to fire. I'm seeing the cam and the crank sensor waveform. I'm seeing everything is supposed to be there, but I need to physically see the spark jumping out the spark tester, right? Then if I'm not seeing it, then is it a false signal from the cam sensor, the crank sensor? As I said, I don't know, man. But let me just crank this over and see exactly the physical spark jumping out, and basically I'm not seeing no spark, man. This is my tester. So on my tester, hold on, let me just adjust this. Right, let's try it again. What's wrong with this, man? I'm not seeing no spark, man. This is crazy. I'm seeing the ignition command. I got crank and cam sensor waveform. Why am I not seeing no spark on this spark tester now? This is crazy. And the camera is rolling, but what can you do? So let me pull the plug and smell the plug at least, or I mean look at the plug and see if it's damaged. But I mean, I know this have nothing to do with why I'm not getting a spark, but I just want to see what's the difference between when I had it in the cylinder and when I have it out. I'm not getting no spark at present time, man. This is real weird. But they said it was getting spark, and I'm seeing I'm getting spark via my ignition waveform. We know that we're getting fuel, so I'm expecting the spark plug to have a gas smell, right? Just let me know that my injectors are working. Still not sure exactly why I'm not getting no spark. Could it be my harness? Could it be a short? But still, I mean, I'm seeing the waveform. I mean, I'm seeing the command to the coil. Hold on, let me just use this let me see if I could just retrieve this spark plug, just to dig a little deeper, man. Yeah, the spark plug is wet. It smells like fuel, but I'm not getting no spark. So we got fuel, we have air, we got good compression. So we're missing a spark. So I definitely gotta figure out where the spark is going, right? So let me get some other tools and hook it up.